Hello, welcome to Important Old News. My name is Cameron Smith. Today is May the 4th, 2022. Today's episode is going to be a two-part episode. That doesn't mean it's going to be a longer episode. I'm just going to talk about two separate things that are related to each other in a weird way. So let's get started. If you'll notice the title of today's episode, it's called Marine Corps General Loses Command After Reacting to a Hip Hop Song. So let's talk about that. That whole story is best summarized in the Newsweek article I found. And let me credit the author. It's by Patricia McKnight and Newsweek. Alright, and the title of the article is Ousted Marine General Defends Using N-Word as Teaching Moment. So let's get into the article. A former U.S. Marine Corps general who was relieved of his command over his use of a racial slur argued that he was teaching his subordinates a lesson, according to an internal investigation report. A report provided to Stars and Stripes by the Inspector General, IG, of the Marine Corps details the July 2020 incident involving Major General Stephen Neary using the N-word while speaking to junior troops. Neary told IG, now remember that's Inspector General, not Instagram, that he took offense to the word and used it at the moment to set an example. I was using this as a teaching moment is what I was doing, Neary told the IG. Because again, there is no place for discriminatory behavior at all in our Marine Corps, across the board. On the morning of July 22, 2020, Neary had just finished his physical training when he overheard the song Put It On by rapper Big L being played by a group of junior Marines. Excuse me. Neary said he was offended by the word and asked the group to turn off the music. You cannot play songs that use N-word. The article even bleeps out the word because it is counter to good order and discipline. We have a problem when we think that is acceptable. Look what is going on across our country, Neary said as in his account to the IG. Neary asked junior Marines how they would feel if he said the word. In that moment, junior Marines were shocked that Neary, a white man, said the full word, according to the report. Neary said the word should never be used, and it is a word of hate, according to a statement by one of the Marine witnesses. The witness's statement went on to say that Neary told the group that the N-word is the reason you people are doing riots in the U.S. The incident occurred during the time of national protests against police brutality, including the murder of George Floyd by then Minneapolis police officer Derek Chauvin. Neary acknowledged saying the N-word once, according to the IG report, but denied he used it multiple times. He also denied saying "you people." The testimony of other Marines was consistent, and the report asserts that their statements corroborated one another. Neary joined the Marines in 1988 and was a career infantry officer who served in Operations Desert Shield and Desert Storm as a company commander and as a battalion commander during Operation Iraqi Freedom, according to his official unit biography. He was relieved of his command in October 2020. Neary retired from the Marines earlier this year. Neary failed to demonstrate exemplary conduct as defined by the standard through his insensitive comments and lack of awareness and appreciation for how divisive his use of a racial slur would be on his organization and offensive to his Marines, the IG said. Newsweek reached out to the Marine Corps for comment. Alright, that's the end of the article. Okay, so yeah, long story short, he was criticizing a rap song his junior Marines were listening to. The rap song, if you're a fan of rap, you'll know a lot of rap uses the N-word. This Marine, two-star Marine general, while criticizing that song, he actually said the word, which he shouldn't have said, and he lost his command. So, excuse me. I just want to comment on that a little bit. Two-star general should probably know that you shouldn't say that word, no matter who you are, no matter what color you are. If you're that high-ranking, you should probably know better. But a lot of times, high-ranking people are out of touch. And another thing I want to say is I don't think he meant any harm by it. But he still was a little bit out of touch saying it. And honestly, I don't think his chain of command thought he was meant harm by it, but excuse me, whew, I need some water. But they're high ranking people are they're concerned about their public image a lot, which is pretty funny. And of course, they're gonna act accordingly. So it's kind of funny how that works. Like, a 1-star general is afraid of the 2-star general, a 2-star general's afraid of the 3-star general, and so on and so on. And on the top, you have the highest brass. Strangely enough, they're afraid of people like me, YouTubers and the media. And I'm not saying me personally, but that's who they're afraid of. I mean, and the reason why they are is because the media tells people like you what they're doing. So it's just kind of funny how that works. It's a cycle. Um, and a lot of times, high-ranking people they're like, oh my God, they're gonna think we're insufficiently whatever. Let's fire him, and that's pretty much what they did. So, and but I'm not excusing it at all. I'm just saying that's kind of their mindset with this type of thing. Uh, so there's that. All right. Now the second part, real quick. I want to review. If you'll notice, I said the song was "Put It On" by Big L. Uh, I think that's very interesting because "Put It On" by Big L is a song that came out in 1995, and this happened in 2020. So I found it very interesting that a group of young Marines in 2020 would be listening to a rap song from 1995. Shout out to those Marines. They have a good taste in music. So real quick, let me review the album that song was on, and give you some background information about how I came across that album. So real quick, here's a picture of the album right here on Spotify. Okay, oh yeah, I gotta tell you the name of the album. The name of the album is Lifestyles of the Poor and Dangerous by Big L. And the lead single off that album was Put It On, the song that those Marines were listening to. So, when I was a student at UNLV, about the year 2009, I was really into Biggie, the rapper. One of my classmates was from Connecticut, so I was asking him, hey, what's your favorite, who's your favorite rapper? And he told me Big L, and that's the first time I ever heard of Big L. So I went onto YouTube. Yes, there was YouTube back then. And I checked out Big L, and I heard the song Put It On, and I was like, okay, that's pretty good. But unfortunately, at the time, I didn't listen to the rest of the album. I didn't listen to the rest of the album until very recently, like last month, when Spotify recommended it to me after I was listening to Naughty by Nature. So that's kind of weird how that came about. And then I came across this article with the Marine General. So, yeah, a quick description of the album, a quick review, I guess. Real quick review is it's very dark, gloomy, kind of like 3-6 Mafia, but with no party tone. Like 3-6 Mafia kind of has a party vibe. There's no party vibe here, just gloomy, almost nihilistic, but not quite. But on the other hand, the lyricism is top notch. The songwriting is top notch. And I'm talking about like one of the best, if not the best, lyricist of all time, Big L. And I'm talking about compared to Eminem, Nas, Jay-Z. Big L is on par, if not better, than those MCs. If you look up any best MCs of all time list, you should see Big L on there, or if not, he should be on there. But unfortunately, he passed away in 1999. He's from Harlem, New York. He died in a drive-by shooting. He was shot. I'm not going to go into details why. I don't know why. I haven't investigated why. We don't have time for that on today's episode. But unfortunately, he passed away in 1999. So yeah, that's in a nutshell. U.S. Marine Corps General, 2-star general, fired, relieved of his command in 2020 during the summer of Black Lives Matter protests. Strangely enough, from criticizing a song from 1995, and that song was from an album that also criticized police brutality. So yeah, that's all I wanted to talk about today. I hope that was a little bit interesting to you guys too. And I went a little bit over my usual time today, but um, that's all I wanted to talk about is those two topics: the album Big L, Lifestyles of the Poor and Dangerous, and how that album came out in 1995, and how about 25 years later. Oh wait, that is 25 years later, right? Yeah, 25 years later, that song would get a Marine, a 2-star Marine, relieved of his command. All right, thank you. That's all for today's episode, and we'll see you next time on Important Old News.